Alright, I'm here at work, and I've been watching some of Zach's videos from American Homestead, and yeah, he's prompted a video, not anything he's done or anything. It's just some of the stuff he's been talking about, and quite frankly, if the stuff he's been talking about in his live streams comes to fruition, and then we're all screwed, plain and simple. And he's talking about how there's different groups, whether it be animal rights activists or the political left or whoever, they're wanting to try to ban animal protein, meat. And that is not a good thing, guys. And if you're looking at it from a climate change perspective, yes, climate is changing. Is it due to cows farting and burping? No. That would play an extremely small role in it. Is it caused by the way they are raised from the time they are born until they are roughly 8 months to a year old? Then yes, there is part of it that does play a role. If after that, the way they are raised plays a huge role. Cows in general are herbivores. It means they eat plants. For anyone that don't understand that, it means they eat all this green stuff, all this grass. Humans can't do it, but a cow can. And they do a pretty good job at converting that into something we can use, either milk or meat. Some cows are good doing both. But if you graze this real short mowed grass and everything, then this turns to dirt, which reflects sunlight, don't allow water in it, and then you're turning your section of the world into a desert. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's been plenty of people be able to prove it. And alright, on our farm, we were looking to get a certification from the Humane Society for humane treatment of animals. And quite frankly, the way we feel they need to be raised falls right in line with what they would require for their certification. Sorry, it's a little shaky. I'm a little agitated, and I'm doing this on my phone. But anyway, for our chickens, we only have to change 3 things, and that's provide them with more water, which we wholeheartedly agree with. They need more. They are free-range animals, and we're going to have to start supplementing them with more grains. A chicken can eat grain. They're an omnivore. They can handle it. They can digest it. So we got to do that, and we just got to keep them away from vehicles and machinery. Okay, that makes perfect sense. That's logical. Anyone thinks that letting your chickens run under your car when you're trying to back out of the driveway is a good idea, they're a moron. It's just simple. And Zach was saying in his videos, he was showing proof where in Colorado and Oregon and Ireland and all these places that are wanting to ban animals for animal rights issues, saying that they're being abused or neglected or whatever. There is no farmer alive, no true farmer alive, that would be willing to abuse or neglect any of their animals for any reason whatsoever. Most farmers rely on those animals to produce an income. If that animal is sick, if that animal is abused, if that animal is stressed, they do not produce, which means you are losing money. And if a farmer is losing money on an animal, yes, they may send it to slaughter. But 9 chances out of 10, that animal will be taken care of, and that animal will go back to being able to produce. It could be as simple as it's too hot outside for a black cow. And if a black cow gets hot, they drink a lot of water and they don't eat a whole lot, and they stay under the tree, which wears out the pastures, which will kill the tree. And if they're drinking a lot of water, they're going to be peeing a lot, and that does not add any weight to a cow. And it goes on for a prolonged period of time, they will lose weight, which means you got to start supplementing with more expensive feed. And if you have to shell out more for feed, then you are still losing money. It's that simple. Everyone likes to relate to dollars and cents, so we'll break it down by the money. Now, there are some people that don't want to eat meat for whatever reason they want to say. That is fine. That is their choice. If you don't want to eat a steak, fine. You don't like chicken nuggets, fine. Who cares? That's up to you. But don't go around and try to force that mindset onto everyone. If in 30 years that generation said, the entire generation agrees that no, we don't want to eat animals anymore, we don't want any of that stuff, great. By that time the industry could change. As it stands right now, beef cattle, broiler chickens, layers, pork production, goats, sheep, all those, they play a huge role, not just in the U.S. where we are, but worldwide. And if you start trying to cripple your economy by saying that you can't have animals, then you're going to cripple your country, and your country will fall. Just that simple. If you try to ban it, guys, in the United States, we had a thing called prohibition. They completely outlawed the sale and manufacture of alcohol. The only people that could legally manufacture alcohol was for industrial uses only. So scientists needing alcohol to preserve something, you could get it. You needed rubbing alcohol in the operating room for surgery, great, you could have it. But you want to go get a beer on the weekend, that was illegal. That did not turn out very well. That's what gave rise to people like Al Capone, who was able to make extreme amounts of money. And when I say extreme, I mean extreme amounts of money simply by providing alcohol. And it did not work. The U.S. government lost billions, and I'm talking billions of dollars, and that was 1930s dollars, not today's dollars. The U.S. almost collapsed, and that was part of what caused the Great Depression. And when the U.S. about collapsed, they took the world with them. And that was before the U.S. was a superpower. That was just back when the U.S. was the U.S. and no one really paid much attention to us. If you fast forward to today, you ban drugs, you ban alcohol, you ban tobacco, you ban meat, and the U.S. will collapse. Plain and simple, that's what will happen. And if you're wanting to actually fix climate change in the United States, there is one surefire way that it'll work. I have seen the evidence myself. Don't believe me? Do your own research and follow the guys that are actually doing it, that do the research, the actual doctors and professors that are doing the research. Don't worry about what your favorite celebrity says or your favorite politician or even your favorite YouTuber. Do the research yourself. That's your duty as a citizen, not of the U.S., but of the world. They are showing that if you introduce livestock and you manage them correctly, 100% correctly, then you are able to not only rejuvenate the soil and increase water infiltration, but sequester carbon. And if you sequester carbon is one of the big things that is going on with climate change. And I know a lot of people are like, well, cows produce methane. In a healthy ecosystem where you are sequestering carbon, there are enzymes and bacteria that live just on the soil's surface, and they're only found in healthy grasslands with livestock or wild grazing animals. Those enzymes and bacteria eat methane, and they break it down and resequester it into the soil. A single acre of healthy soil with a healthy grassland on it, with a healthy population of cattle, can sequester more methane than 1,000 cows per acre can produce. The only place on the planet that there is that level of stock density of grazing animals is in a confined animal feeding operation or a feedlot. Those feedlots are very few and far between. They are huge. In those operations, yes, the way the cows are fed and the way they are raised, I do not agree with. If you really want to make a difference in the world, don't ban meat. Instead of enacting more laws and more regulations, deregulate it to where a farmer like myself or another trusted farmer, and you can pick your trusted farmer, go visit the farm, see their operation. Shoot, if they'll let you work on their operation and follow them for a day, that way you understand how they do what they do and why. If the government of the world would allow farmers to do on-site, on-farm butchering of their own animals and then legally sell the meat produced, then and only then would you be able to start lowering the amount of animals in a confined animal feeding operation. If you try to cut out the millions of animals in those feedlots at all in one go, the price of meat will go from between $5 and $10 a pound up to $100 or more per pound. Don't believe me? Look at what it done with hemp. Look what it's done with cacao and everything with the drugs. Used to be those were legal, even here in the U.S. That's why cocaine used to be allowed in Coca-Cola. Once he banned those, the value of those skyrocketed. Plain and simple. If legally people aren't allowed to have it, people are willing to pay an arm and a leg to get it. Look at guns. It's that simple, people. I know a lot of people won't agree with it, and I don't rightly care. This is getting out of hand. Do we need to try to fix the environment? Yes. But regulating it through a government agency will not fix the environment. It's that simple. I mean, if you don't understand it, either do research or try to do it yourself. And chemical fertilizer will work for your plants, yes. Your plants won't be as healthy, your soil will degrade no matter what you do with a chemical. And eventually, those supplies, I know it's phosphorus comes out of Africa, out of huge mines over there. And those are decreasing.